Hey, what's up you guys? John from Old Reading Farm here. Thanks for joining us. This is our first winter really here on our new farm, and we are still figuring some things out, like how to walk on ice without slipping. And one of the things is, how do we water our animals when it's freezing outside? Now, you would think like, John, why don't you just fill up a bucket and feed your animals? Great idea, except we have way too many animals to just water with buckets. Because that's what we did this morning. Because one of the things that we did initially, in the winter, we use rubber feed pails to water our chickens, since we don't have electricity down here and we don't want to run a bunch of electric cords over here anyway. So every morning we come down and we dump out each of the buckets that's full of ice, and then we refill it, and then we'll chip it out throughout the day. Luckily I work from home, so on my lunch break I can come down here and knock out the ice, make sure they have fresh water. Now, what I have done to sort of help with that is we brought this trough down here. We fill this 100-gallon trough up with water, and then we can just, chop through the top layer of ice, take a bucket, and fill up every one, and it's all good. The only problem is, this thing is about 200 feet away from our spigot. So when it's been in the teens and in the 20s and there's snow on the ground, those hoses are frozen all the way through and well insulated with the snow. You can see one hose right here crossing the road. Now I tried, but most of these are still frozen solid, even though it's like 45 today. So what do? I have come up with sort of a solution, and it's all thanks to my buddy Ross and some big white barrels. Let me show you what the heck I'm talking about. Okay, so if you are as big of a peruser of Facebook Marketplace as I am, and you have a similar search history, you'll see plenty of IBC totes, 225-gallon totes, or these water barrels. So, what I have here are two 55-gallon water barrels that I'm going to use to water our livestock. Now, I was able to get one hose, but that's only 50 or so feet. So, I can't use it to really do anything except fill up these barrels. So these barrels have two lids, or two caps on them rather, that look like this. And now the interesting thing about these is that they are threaded on the inside. So if you look on the inside here, you can see there are threads right here. So what I did is I drilled a hole through the back on this part, and the threads just happen to be big enough so that you can connect a hose. So now, look at that. So once this is done filling, which is going to take a really long time, once this is done filling, I can then screw my little hose cap on here, and then I'm going to have to figure out a way to kajigger my forks to then pick this up. I'm going to have the hole on this side, so I'm basically going to come in like this, grab that, we're going to kind of back up and tilt the bucket like that, and then I'll be able to pick it up like this, and then while it's like that, I'll be able to use the hose section to fill up the waters that we have around the farm. Hopefully what I just said made sense, and hopefully it actually works. That this will work exactly as I want, because this is open-ended, I can't close this, so transporting it may leak some. But even if it does, it'll leak more than, because I tried bringing up that whole trough and filling it all the way up, but then doing that, it splashes its way down, and, by the time I get down to the chickens, it's halfway empty. So, this is going to be its inaugural flight. That actually...
That was very pleasing to me, if nothing else.
Okay.
What's up?
What's up, Pebbles? Alright, so here's what we're going to do. So, pull up to it. Forks. Okay. So now I might actually need your help.
My.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, nice! Oh, so cold. So this thing is all pinned against the fork, so the hose isn't working that well, but it's coming out. But I wonder, like,
Oh, their hose is running now.
I'm not going to hit the tube if I pull forward a little bit. All right, so I would say that actually went just about as good as I could have hoped for. So it turns out using the actual, I think it's called a bung hole, worked a little bit better than the hose, just because it was a much higher flow. But either way, like that was a resounding success. So I am glad to have that done. I think I'm going to keep going because I have a few other troughs to fill, but so glad to know that that works. Yes! All right, so now we're over by our boy alpacas, and I've positioned the water basically right on the edge of the fence. I just had to move it a little bit, but now all I gotta do woo. Yeah. All right, so I got to keep an eye on this one because this is a small waterer. And the only problem is it's on the other side of the fence, so I got to like run around and turn it. Otherwise, I would say I probably should have evened out the forks a little bit so it wasn't at such an angle. But either way, that's fine. This is going to be great. We're gonna have all nice filled waterers, and these ones, the two alpaca ones, have heaters in them, so these won't freeze. That's great. Woo! Well, I guess it's gonna work. right, guys, so we are all set with our water for now. It is certainly not an ideal process, but it is a process. And we are able to get water to everybody. I actually, since then, have figured out a way to do it with the barrels facing away from the tractor, because we found that when it's like 4 degrees outside and I start pouring water on the pallet forks, they start freezing to themselves. So anyway, so it's not the best thing, but we're able to get water down here, and that's the most important thing. Getting water to our chickens and our peacocks and our alpacas. Gotta water them, man. All right, thank you guys very much for watching this video. We really appreciate it. Please give us a like, leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and as always, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.